You can find me on the internet at Nosh with Tash. Let's be friends. Today, we are here on Food School talking about mushrooms. What if I was just like, cabbage? It's clearly a bunch of mushrooms. Listen, if you are not a person that cooks with mushrooms, I completely understand. There's a lot of different kinds of them. They can feel intimidating. You gotta cook them at the right heat. But if you get them right, I swear to you, your life will be changed. Look at the diversity of mushrooms, okay? Have you ever seen 4 carrots on a table and been like, those are so different? This is a lion's mane. It tastes like lobster. Have you ever met a carrot that tasted like anything other than a carrot? I don't think so. Look at this. Like, did you come from outer space? I do not understand. You can get it at essentially any farmer's market. It's got this like really hairy, almost meaty-like texture. You can turn it into crab cakes. You can saute it and put it on top of pasta. It's absolutely incredible. These, both oyster mushrooms. You know what? They also come in pink. They come in blue. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen. And you wanna know something else fun about mushrooms? You're like, no, please move on. Too bad. This is a cremini mushroom. You know when you see these at the grocery store and you also see white mushrooms? Do you know what the difference is versus a portobello? What the difference is? Age, that's it. A white one is young, this is in the middle, sometimes called a baby bella because it's a baby portobello, and then the portobello is just the big one. You let them stay there, they get big. Like, what is that? I can't. Now that I have bored you with all the things I like about mushrooms, we're just gonna talk a little bit about how to not them up, okay? Seems important. Mushrooms love heat. Mushrooms have a lot of natural water content in them, and you have to exterminate that water content. So there's a few things that we can do across the board to make sure that that happens. One is how you store them. This is my invisible paper bag. You take your paper bag, you put your mushrooms in it, you curl over the top, you put that in the fridge, right? That creates a nice ability for them to aerate, and so that they don't start harboring moisture. Moisture is the enemy of both maintaining the shelf life of these and also making sure that they are delicious. How long the mushrooms can live in the paper bag really is determined by the freshness of the mushrooms when you buy them. So while I can't tell you they will last this long in the fridge, I can give you some tips to know when they're not good anymore. Does that help? When you're looking at the stem of the mushroom, you want to make sure it's not reedy. If it looks like an old tree, guess what? It's an old mushroom. So you want this to look nice and supple. You can also, if you can see the gills on a button mushroom, aka this area has started to separate and you can see underneath it, that's an indication that it's getting a little worse for wear. I'm gonna crack this mushroom open just so you can see. The gills are this area that is underneath the white, pithy, healthy part of the mushroom. If you're looking at mushrooms like oysters or shiitakes or even the lion's mane, one of the easiest ways to make sure that they're still good is you want them to feel nice and soft. You know, you want to feel like you should pet them. This is embarrassing. I open my mushroom bag like every day and I say, hello, mushrooms. And if they start looking like it's their last day, then you know you have to cook them on that day. I always like to cook these in a pan, primarily because I want to keep my eyes on them. You don't want to overcook them. You want to get a nice hard sear, but once you see that, you want to pull them. With these lion mane mushrooms, when you want to cook them, what I would recommend doing is just delicately separating them into chunks and then using these in your pan. Don't worry, we're gonna get to the method, but just so you know, this is kind of how we would cut these up. And these oyster mushrooms, they're uniformly thin. No matter where you get your oyster mushrooms from, they're basically always the same, which makes them really easy to just rip and use. Unlike our button cremini friends over here, you gotta cut these. So with these, we would cook them in the pan, and with the button, a pan sear or in the oven.